It was supposed to be a night to remember, a celebration for the promotion I had worked so hard to achieve. The restaurant was buzzing with life, soft music playing in the background, and couples chatting over flickering candlelight. I sat across from Sarah, my wife of 6 years, hoping tonight might be the moment we'd reconnect after months of silence and distance. For the past year, things between us had changed, small cracks turning into chasms I didn't know how to bridge. We hardly talked anymore, our conversations reduced to logistics and silence that screamed louder than words. So I told myself this night was different. I wanted to believe that the Sarah I fell in love with was still there beneath the exhaustion and coldness. But then I saw it. A moment that shattered that hope like glass. Across the room, Sarah caught the eye of another man. At first, I thought it was nothing, just a passing glance, maybe even a trick of my tired eyes. But then came the smile, slow, warm, and unmistakably meant for him. It wasn't just polite. It was the kind of smile reserved for someone special, the kind I hadn't seen directed at me in months. My heart clenched painfully, a bitter ache spreading through my chest. Suddenly, the laughter and chatter around me faded into a dull roar as jealousy and betrayal flooded my mind. Was this the truth I had been ignoring all along? How long had this been going on? Why did I feel so invisible, like a ghost watching his own life unravel? The urge to stand up and walk away was overwhelming. I wanted to storm out of that restaurant and never look back at the woman who had slowly drifted away from me. My throat tightened, my hands clenched into fists under the table as I tried to fight back tears I refused to show. But then, just as I was about to lose control, Sarah's eyes met mine. Her face softened, and in a voice barely above a whisper, she said my name. It was a simple word, but it stopped me cold. That single word held years of memories, love, and pain, pulling me back from the edge. It was the reminder that despite everything, something still connected us, something I wasn't ready to give up on yet. After she whispered my name, the noise of the restaurant seemed to fade into the background. For a moment, it was just the two of us in a silent bubble, her eyes searching mine for something I couldn't yet name. I swallowed the lump in my throat and forced myself to stay seated, even though every instinct inside me screamed to leave. The man she had smiled at shifted away, and she quickly turned her attention back to me. But the tension hung in the air like a thick fog I couldn't clear. I wanted to ask her what that smile meant, what it was all about, but the words caught in my throat. Instead, I looked at her, the woman I had loved so fiercely, the woman who had become a stranger in so many ways. We had been through so much together. Late-night talks that lasted until dawn, promises whispered beneath starry skies, dreams built on fragile hope. But lately, it felt like those dreams were crumbling. The warmth in her eyes was replaced by distance, the shared laughter by awkward silences. I wondered when the shift had started. Was it gradual, or did something happen that she never told me? The doubt gnawed at me, making me question everything I thought I knew about us. I realized that maybe I had been holding on to an image of our marriage that no longer existed. Sarah reached out and touched my hand gently, breaking the heavy silence. "I didn't mean for you to see that," she said softly, eyes filled with a complicated mix of guilt and sadness. I nodded slowly, still unsure of what to say. The weight of unspoken words settled between us. "I'm sorry," she whispered, and I felt the crack in her voice, the vulnerability she tried to hide. It was the first time in months that I saw the real her, not the guarded, distant person who had shut me out, but someone who was struggling, just like me. In that moment, I realized that the smile wasn't just about betrayal. It was a symptom of something deeper, something broken in both of us. Our marriage had become a quiet battlefield, where words were weapons and silence was the refuge. I wanted to believe we could fix it, but the fear of losing her was paralyzing. As we sat there holding hands, I wondered if love was enough to heal wounds that ran so deep, or if this was the beginning of the end. Days after that night, everything felt different. The smile Sarah gave that other man haunted me, not because it was proof of betrayal, but because it revealed a truth we had both been avoiding. We sat down and talked, really talked, for the first time in months. She confessed that she felt lost, disconnected, not just from me but from herself. The pressures of work, the weight of expectations, and years of unspoken resentment had built an invisible wall between us. I shared my pain too, the loneliness, the fear that I was no longer the man she wanted. Our conversation was raw, filled with tears and awkward silences, but it was also the first step toward healing. I realized that love isn't just about grand gestures or perfect moments. It's about facing the uncomfortable truths together, even when it hurts. We agreed to try, to rebuild the trust and closeness that had slipped through our fingers. It wouldn't be easy, there were no quick fixes or magic words. But the fact that she still called my name in that moment, even after the smile, gave me hope. It was a reminder that beneath the pain, the love was still there. Fragile, yes, but real. I'm not saying everything is perfect now. We still have our fights and moments of doubt, but we're fighting for us. And sometimes, when I look at her, I remember that night. Not as the moment I wanted to walk away, but as the moment I chose to stay. Because love, with all its messiness and heartbreak, is worth the struggle.